You wake up late for school, man, you don't want to go. Then you ask your mom, please, but she still says no. You miss 2 classes and no homework. You gotta fight for your right to do math. And that's what we're doing today. We're going to work on simplifying radicals. And here we go. Look at this radical I have here first. Square root or radical of 48. The first step you need to do to solve this is find a perfect square that divides into 48. And the first one that pops in my head is 4 times 12. So I'm going to write that under a radical sign, each of them individually. So I have the square root of 4 and the square root of 12. What is the square root of 4? That is 2. And this radical here, I can break down even more because a perfect square goes into 12, and that is radical, and that is 4. And it's 4 times 3. So I'm going to write that in radical form. Now, what is the square root of 4? That is 2. So now I'm going to write 2 times radical 3. And I cannot break down that radical 3 anymore. That's as far as it goes. There's no perfect square that goes into it. So my final answer will be 2 times 2 radical 3, which is 4. So 4 radical 3 is my final answer. Now, what happens if we get something, let me erase this, that looks like this? 5 radical 32. Well, we're going to do the same thing, but we're just going to keep bringing that 5 down. So let's go. So the perfect square that pops in my head that goes into 32 is 4. So it's going to be 4, and 4 times 8 is 32. Now I'm going to look at the radical 4. Is there, can I square root of 4? Yes, it is 2. So it's going to be 5 times 2, radical 8. Let's look at the radical 8. Is there a perfect square that goes into it? Yes, it does. And yes, there is. It is 4. So now I'm going to have 5 times 2 times radical 2, radical 4, radical 8. Nope, radical 4, radical 2. I apologize. Radical 4, radical 2. Now, is there a perfect square that goes into 4? Yes, the square root of 4 is 2. It's not a perfect, okay? So here we go. So now it's 5 times 2 times 2, radical 2. 5 times 2 is 10, times 2 is 20. My final answer is 20 radical 2. 20 radical 2. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Have a good one.
You're too much.
This video is my crazy one.
I know, it sounded like you were going to shit yourself.
You should solve